But first, more reaction to Monday's Kevin Durant decision to leave the Thunder for the two-time defending Western Conference champs in Golden State. Bleacher Report's Howard Beck shed some light on Durant's thinking in a piece he wrote Monday, and Howard is with us here on Game Time. We appreciate it, Howard. You wrote KD had become frustrated with the Thunder's offense and his all-star teammate Russell Westbrook to some extent. What was the source of that frustration?
Well, this was directly from someone who knows Kevin Durant very well and knows what his thinking has been, not just these last few weeks, but these last several months, these last couple of years. Kevin Durant has consistently felt a bit frustrated with just kind of the state of the Thunder offense. That was the case under Scott Brooks. They fired Scott Brooks. They brought in Billy Donovan. And not enough changed for Durant's liking. And part of what has frustrated him is the fact that Russell Westbrook, his all-star teammate, tends to dominate the ball sometimes, tends to, have blinders on and at critical times. Now, that's not to say that, look, Kevin Durant is without fault, that Durant hasn't himself sometimes played hero ball. That team, that's been their character, unfortunately, and it has been one of the things that has held them back at times is that both Durant and Westbrook kind of get caught up in that hero ball mentality. But Westbrook in particular has been a frustrating tag team partner for Durant. And look, a qualifier here. It should have been in the story probably. I didn't have it in there. These guys are friends. They are legitimately friends on and off the court. This is not a Shaq and Kobe situation, except where it regards the basketball part of it. And you can like each other, be good friends, and still not necessarily want to play with one another. And those rumblings have been quietly there for quite some time.
Well, and you mentioned Kevin Durant's coaches, most recently Scott Brooks and then Billy Donovan. Many believe that Scott Brooks was shown the door in OKC in part because of the offense and its predictability, that hero ball mentality. What, if anything, could Billy Donovan have done in his lone season with Durant to change this outcome?
I don't know if he could have. I mean, clearly there were some changes made. You could see that the offense had a little bit more dynamism to it, but still paled in comparison to what the Golden State Warriors do. And so here's Kevin Durant on the one hand feeling this frustration with the fact that their offense just didn't have enough movement, creativity to it, didn't have enough ball movement, while watching what the Warriors were able to do over the last 2 years under Steve Kerr, the way that all those guys were involved. And, again, the Warriors are a team with stars, incredible individual stars. But Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, all these guys, they're all dedicated passers. It's a team that's been built on selflessness, and that would appeal to a lot of guys, not just Kevin Durant. And it certainly was something that stood in stark contrast to the situation he felt he had. And Billy Donovan, whatever he could have done, it wasn't enough. It wasn't soon enough.
Howard, the one person we haven't heard from in all of this is we haven't heard much from Russell Westbrook. Have you heard anything in terms of his thought process? As you touched on, they are good friends. They were compadres. They did go at people on a night-in, night-in basis. They got along. But have you heard what he's thought about Kevin Durant, or has anyone mentioned, to your knowledge, what he's thought about Kevin Durant deciding to go to Golden State?
Yeah, nothing that I'm aware of from Russell Westbrook. And, it's the summer. It's July. Most guys are checked out. I don't know that we're going to hear from Westbrook anytime soon. He's not obligated to be speaking to the media at the moment. So, I'm sure he will do that on his own timeline. But it's of curiosity, not just how he feels about Durant leaving, of course, but just how he feels about his own pending free agency next summer. Because if he has any desires to explore the market, if he might go elsewhere, then obviously the Thunder need to know that very soon, because that's the next order of business for them, is whether or not they need to trade him.
Absolutely. You also wrote Tuesday, not Monday, as I think I said, about the question of competitive balance league-wide with the salary cap jumping up so much that a bunch of teams could have added superstar players this summer. There's another cap jumping next summer, as you know, when both owners and players can opt out of the CBA. How will this summer's spending spree change things next year?
We don't know yet. It's a vexing issue for the NBA. Their entire system, the salary cap, the luxury tax, and then a more punitive luxury tax that they installed in 2011, bird rights, the rookie scale, everything they've done, all of these mechanisms are attempts to create competitive balance, attempts to ensure that teams are on semi-equal footing not outspending each other, not just pilfering each other's superstars. And the system, in some respects, has worked for many years, and at the moment has completely broken down. And look, that's not just my assessment. That's the assessment of multiple team executives I've talked to over the last couple of days who say basically the system at this moment is broken because you had this unprecedented salary cap spike from $70 million to $94 million. It gave almost every team in the league room, maximum cap room in many, many cases. And it allowed a team like the Warriors that already had 3 superstars, 3 elite players, to add a 4th. That's absolutely positively not what the NBA wanted when they had the lockout in 2011. It's not what they intended when they created this new CBA with the incredibly punitive luxury tax system. So yeah, whether you agree, disagree with any of these mechanisms, whether you think competitive balance is even possible, all immaterial. The fact is the NBA did set out certain goals, and they failed in regard to this situation here with this cap spike that they just failed to anticipate, failed to plan for. And as a result, the Thunder have lost their franchise player, and the Warriors now have a super team, the likes of which we have not seen maybe ever, or at least in many, many years.
And those conditions will exist again next summer when the cap jumps once again by around $15 million. Going to be interesting. Howard Beck with us from Bleacher Report. Thanks much.
Thanks, guys.